Hey guys, the Jack Vegan here, but I wasn't always jacked and I wasn't always vegan. I was probably like some of you guys, feeling frustrated about how little muscle I was putting on after hard days at the gym, not seeing the scale move very much, looking in the mirror, not seeing any major differences in terms of muscle mass after training so hard and eating so much, and I was sick of it. So I decided to make a change, and as you guys know, I went vegan.
Oh my god! Wow!
Let's take a quick ride and I'll tell you more about it. Come on. But before we set off, I should probably show you, this is how I was looking straight before I turned vegan. This is how I was looking straight after I turned vegan. And this is how I'm currently looking, a couple months after that. Now sit back and relax because I'm going to show you how I sped up building muscle on a vegan diet and how you can do it too. Let's get started. By making the switch to a plant-based diet, I was able to recover the muscle mass I lost and put on more muscle mass faster. And of course this was largely due to my change in diet, but also due to a few other key things I was doing, so let's talk about those things now. Well, I actually started tracking my macros, and that's my #1 tip for those of you hoping to either gain or lose weight quickly, and especially if you want it to be muscle, you need to be tracking your macros, making sure you're getting the right amounts of protein, fat, carbohydrates that you do need every single day. So that's what I started doing. I started tracking my macros, and that was one of the reasons and my first tip if you're trying to gain muscle. Along with tracking your macros, I'd also suggest you track your body weight. So preferably get a nice scale that can also track your body fat, and then while you're either gaining or losing weight, you'll know how much muscle you're retaining or gaining, because you don't want to be gaining weight for it to be mostly fat, you want it to be nice lean muscle. So that's another tip for you guys. I suggest weighing yourself every so often, maybe once a week, and get a nice scale. Right, let's keep going.
Nice.
So already 4 months into being vegan, I was leaner and gaining more muscle than I was before, so off to a really good start, but now the work kicks in. So what changed? What changed was I increased my training frequency, volume, and intensity. So what does that actually mean? So for frequency, that means I increased how many workouts per week I did for a certain body part. So of course I was doing calisthenics one day, and then in the evening I'll do like bodybuilding as well, and then I also mix some powerlifting in there. So that was increasing my frequency. I was also increasing volume. So by nature of this, I was increasing volume by doing more reps for a certain body part, and then I was increasing my training intensity. So I was working with progressive overload and getting harder with my progression. So instead of doing tuck planches, I was going on to advanced tuck planches and so on. So all of this helped me increase in body mass and muscle. So that brings me to my last tip. So despite these breaks, I was still able to make progress in the long run. So you're gonna have times where you put on a little weight or lose a little bit. Don't let that deter you, keep going, because if you follow these tips in this video, you will make gains in the long run. And for the last tip, that is switch up what workouts you're doing. So I do calisthenics and bodybuilding. So for some exercises, for example, for my shoulders, I much prefer calisthenics exercises, such as the pike push-up, as I've shown you in many other videos. But for some other parts of my body, such as my chest, I much prefer doing bodybuilding exercises, such as the classic bench press. So try switching up. So if you're doing calisthenics, maybe try and throw in some dumbbell work as well. Mixing these two up causes muscle confusion, and you're going to increase how optimally you can gain mass. But what you really need to do is you need to click this video, because you're going to learn 5 more tips on how to build muscle, especially if you're skinny and on a vegan diet. Frequency, training. So what?